sports on this channel. Sometimes I even think about maybe just not really doing sports talk anymore, which I guess could be fine, but if you guys don't want it, I really want to make content that you guys want to watch. So if you guys want to watch it, see more of it, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. It lets me know that you guys want to support and want to help, show that you guys want more of this. Tonight's video is a long one, which is why I'm kind of rambling in this intro, is because we have a whole hour to chit-chat about basically anything and everything going on in the sporting world, which is really exciting. The NFL season is pretty much here, and it's on the way, and it's going pretty well for some, pretty bad for others. The NBA preseason has already started, and the NBA season is just right around the corner. The MLB playoffs is going on right now, and I think we're already almost ready to see who's going to make it finally to the championship series. Hockey's about to start. UFC fights are always going on. College football, a bunch of other random stuff we can talk about. So first on the agenda, should we talk basketball? I don't know. I feel like I used to always talk basketball first in these ASMR videos, just because basketball's like my favorite sport. But I know NFL is like, the sport that's really going on right now. Let's just talk football. We might as well get it done and over with first. So with football going on right now, it's pretty interesting so far in the NFL season. I guess what we can do here is just go do this in the NFL, bada bing, bada boom, and look at the standings. So for the standings so far for this current NFL season, in the AFC East, we have the Bills first, Jets second, Dolphins third, and the Patriots in fourth place there. Bills top of the division at 3-2, looking pretty good. The Jets are in second though, and they actually just fired their head coach, which some people I've seen say it's a little bit of an over-exaggeration. I mean, of course, the Jets aren't, no offense, a real title contender. Sure, they have Aaron Rodgers, but who just came off a very nasty injury. That team on offense has already been kind of known as a struggling offensive team. They're really good defensively, but, I don't know if getting a new head coach is really going to fix that, but maybe it will. We're going to have to wait and find out. And yeah, the Dolphins being 2-3, they could probably make their way back. I know they're kind of been a disappointing team so far this year as well. In the AFC North, we have the Ravens, the Steelers, the Browns, and the Bengals. The Browns and the Bengals have the same record of 1-4. That's terrifying. Now, I know for a lot of people, the Bengals are the laughingstock of the league right now. And for a team that was pretty bodacious the past couple years about, it's their time, they just need to be healthy, this or that, they have really been on a steady decline year after year since making the Super Bowl a couple years ago, when they thought, hey, we're going to be here for the next couple years, we're young, we're paying these guys, bada bing, bada boom. And things have never really gone their way ever since, which has been pretty rough to watch, to be honest. In the AFC South, we have the Texans, the Colts, the Titans, and the Jaguars. Texans 4-1, looking pretty good with their young quarterback. Jaguars 1-4, looking pretty rough with their young quarterback. Trevor Lawrence is, I guess, not really turning the tides of how it's going down there in Jacksonville, but they're looking like they were an ascending team, especially even going to last year. Back to struggling, it looks like. In the AFC West, we have the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Raiders. The Chiefs are 5-0. Now, when I said, even after the end of last year, Jake, who's your early Super Bowl prediction, or even before this year even started, Jake, who's your favorite to win it all this year? I've been saying the Chiefs, until they show me any different. They're starting the year 5-0. They haven't shown me any different. I'm still rocking with the Chiefs to go back to back in the Super Bowl this year. Until I see some cracks in that armor, why would you pick any other team besides the defending Super Bowl champions who are starting the year undefeated? then my favorite team, the Chargers, 2-2. It is what it is. They've had a kind of a rough schedule. NFC East, we have the Commanders, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Giants. The Commanders. Yeah, that's not a flipped thing. The Commanders are leading the division right now. The Cowboys and Eagles both have a worse record than them. Yeah, Eagles, Cowboys, they're going to be the Cowboys, but I don't know if this is something to be looked at any further or just kind of, still early-ish in the NFL season. Now, this was the sort of the division standings, during like Thanksgiving, almost December. That's when you really got to be worried. It's still early enough to where things are going to shift and shuffle around, so don't have to be too worried if you're an Eagles or Cowboys fan just yet. The Vikings are the leader of the NFC North division with the Lions, the Packers, and the Bears all there. Get this, the worst team in that division are 3-2. Some divisions, their second best team are 3-2, so that division is looking really tough. The Vikings are 5-0. Is Sam Darnold their quarterback? If you would ask me right now who their quarterback is, I would not be able to give you a 100% answer. That's how out of the loop not only am I of the NFL, but just how whoa, Minnesota. Okay, that's how whoa, that's pretty impressive. Do I think they're contenders? They are 5-0. I think they're looking good as a playoff team, absolutely yes, but I don't know, when it gets down to the crunch time of the playoffs, star power really comes through, and obviously, of course, they have one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver in the entire NFL, Justin Jefferson. Is that enough? We're going to have to wait and find out. The NFC South, we have the Falcons, the Buccaneers, the Saints, and the Panthers. Again, like I said before, worst record in the NFC North is 3-2. Best record in the NFC South is 3-2. So that North division is wild. But the Falcons being number one in this division isn't crazy. That division sucks. Falcons, Buccaneers, Saints, Panthers. No offense, none of those teams are really ooh and awing at all. The Buccaneers did have a pretty fiery start, and I guess also the Falcons did as well. But none of those are making me shaking my boots if I'm thinking about the playoffs or anything like that. And in the NFC West, we have the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Cardinals, and the Rams. 49ers and Seahawks actually just had a pretty rough and get 'em division game yesterday as you guys are seeing this video. And the 49ers won, of course. I think the Seahawks started the year, undefeated or only had one loss, and now they're on a 3-week, actually, I guess technically losing streak. Man, the Seahawks are going pretty rough right now. Not in a good direction, but, again, they would really expect anything too much of the Seahawks? I would hope not. And then another one of my favorite teams, the LA Rams. I think they have their draft pick this year, which is good because they are definitely going to need it. Okay. So, for the AFC total in the conference, you have the Chiefs, the Texans, the Ravens, and the Bills. That's the top 4 teams. Then you have, below that, you have the Steelers, Broncos, Chargers, Jets, Raiders, a big group of guys. But yeah, that top 4 is super solid. That's a really solid top 4 in the AFC. If you would have asked me, Jake, who are the best teams in the AFC, if I just had my eyes closed and look, I'd probably name off some of these guys. Then for the NFC, it's definitely interesting because you have the Vikings, which I guess you could, sure. The Commanders, the Falcons, and the 49ers are the top 4 there. Commanders, Falcons, and Vikings. Interesting. And then the 49ers. Then below them you have the Lions, Bears, Buccaneers. Whoa. And then the other teams like the Cowboys, the Packers, the Eagles, the teams that maybe some people would assume that would be a little bit more ready and fit for that role. They're not even a top 7 team. They're not even technically playoff teams right now, which is wild. Absolutely wild. Now, again, we're 5 season, this is going to be vastly different in 2 to 3 weeks, which is exciting. But there are teams that will not be able to catch up. Some teams will continue to skid down the rabbit hole. Will it be the Cowboys? Will it be the Eagles? I mean, the Eagles right now sit 10th in the conference. Man, they really need to get their act together. Otherwise, man, this is going to look extremely rough, in my own opinion. And then the bottom of the barrel for the teams, for the conferences, Bengals 1-4. Then the Panthers are also 1-4. Man, if you are a fan of the Bengals, man, that must be terrifying. Having a young quarterback like Joe Burrow with this team that, looked like it had it all, ready to go for the future. It might be a pack-it-in year. If I'm being completely honest, it might be a year where you kind of just have to say, hey, it is what it is, and just pack it in, see what happens next year, already in the NFL season. Now, what we can also talk about for the NFL is the NFL, the NFL Power Rankings, which that is actually extremely exciting. I love checking the Power Rankings. Actually, let's go to ESPN. I think they'll be a little more accurate, if you ask me. I think that would probably be a little bit better. Okay, so for the worst ranked team, I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to make this relatively quick. The worst team in the NFL, they actually have the New England Patriots at 1-4. New England Patriots, 1-4. Worst team in the NFL. Do you agree? Disagree? They have the Panthers ranked right above them, then the Browns, then the Jaguars, then the Tennessee Titans, the Rams. Wow, they have the Raiders ranked below, Giants ranked below, the Bengals. Bengals right now sit 24th in the league. Then teams like, again, the Giants, 2-3, and the Raiders are also 2-3, ranked below a 1-4 Bengals team. Now, sure, I guess if you're looking at talent with the power rankings, it does make sense that maybe just talent-wise, just individual play, like just how individual players have been playing, maybe they do rank above some of these other teams, but, ooh, man, if you're like a Giants fan or a Raider fan, does that, like, grind your gears a little bit? That might be kind of disrespectful. I have no idea. Any other ones that kind of surprise me? My favorite team, again, Chargers, ranked 18th at 2-2. Very mid. I could have told you that very early on, that they're extremely mid. Let's go on to the top 10, which actually the top 10 will not include the San Francisco 49ers. Now, this is right before their win against the Seahawks, which now makes them 3-3. Maybe that shifts them into maybe a top 10 team, but currently right now they're not even ranked as a top 10 team, at least as of a couple days ago. Eagles, also missing the top 10. Just scraping by the top 10, the Dallas Cowboys at 3-2. Will they get a win this week? We're going to go over some of the games this week right after we do this. 9, we have the Green Bay Packers. 8, the Buccaneers. Whoa, okay. 7, the 4-1 Commanders. Again, are they contenders or pretenders? I'm definitely going more towards pretender, but I guess anything can happen. We'll see what happens. 6, we have the Buffalo Bills. 5th, we have the Baltimore Ravens, who are one of the teams I really had some high hopes of going into this season. The Detroit Lions at 4. 3, we have the Houston Texans. Houston Texans with CJ Stroud just completely taking that franchise over, man. They must be very grateful for CJ. And then at number 2 is the undefeated 5-0 Minnesota Vikings at number 2. Man, I still just don't know if I really would truly believe in that team in a playoff game against a team that has had more, star power. That team is really good, but I guess you can let me know down in the comments if you're, an NFL fan, a football fan, a Vikings fan, kind of like what do you think is happening over there in Minnesota? I would love to know. And then number 1, of course, is the Kansas City Chiefs. Who would have thought? Alright, taking a look at the games for, I guess it'd be week 6. Week number number 6 here. Again, we already saw the 49er Seahawks game. 49ers winning that one. Let's see if I can sort of predict these things in like a nice and fun manner, as correct as I possibly can. Okay, Jaguars, Bears. Jaguars are going to lose. Obviously, it's even an away game for them, so that's... The Jaguars are going to be 1-5. What was their record last year? If you know what their record was last year, let me know it down in the comments, or I guess you can just let me know in your brain. Let me know in your brain what their record was. Browns and Eagles. I think the Eagles get the win here in Philadelphia. Buccaneers, Saints. That's actually going to be a pretty good toss-up game in my own opinion. Now, a lot of people are favoring the Buccaneers because the Buccaneers are just ranked higher. Just have had a little bit more out of present season. But if you're looking at the money line, people are actually betting their money on the Saints winning this game, which might just because it might be just because, you know, they're not the favorite to win the game. Actually, the favorites to win the game are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But the people are believing in the Saints for this one. It's a home game for the Saints as well. Saints right now are actually 4th in the league in points, 8th in points allowed, so they're a very good offensive and defensive team. Again, very early on in the NFL season, but wow. You know what? Yeah, I might have to go the Saints here. The Saints stats-wise are looking great. I haven't seen the Saints play so far this year. Maybe they do get the W. Cardinals, Packers, definitely giving that one to the Packers. Colts, Texans. Definitely not going to watch that game, but I think the Bar Colts pull out that one going 3-3. Then, probably the best of the 10 a.m. games. Yeah, the best morning game for this Sunday. Commanders, 4-1. Ravens, 3-2. That is a matchup. That's going to be a really good game. Now, I'm actually going to check the Commanders' schedule so far this year. They've beaten the Cardinals, the Browns. Wait, the Cardinals, the Browns, the Bengals, and the Giants. They've only lost to the actual good team, the Buccaneers, their first game of the NFL season. Oh yeah, no, yeah, but the Commanders are pretenders. There's no... After, no offense to the other teams that they've beaten, you know, it's the NFL, all the teams are talented, but bro, they've only beaten on, no offense, bad teams. Ravens are gonna smoke them. Now, if they beat the Ravens, I will zip my lip, and we'll say, hey, you know, we gotta see what happens with this team. I'm really gonna take a really close eye on them the entire rest of the year. But no, after this, they play the Panthers too, so they're gonna be what, maybe 4 no, they would be 5-2. They'd be 5-2 after losing against the Ravens. That's still a really good record. I mean, dude, this team might make the playoffs surely just based off of their standings. I mean, sorry, their schedule. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. Ravens for sure are gonna be winning that game. Texans, Patriots, giving that one to the Texans. Chargers, Broncos. Please, Chargers win this game. They're right now favored at a -3 to win the game, so it is still going to be a very close one. I'm excited to watch that, but you never know what Chargers team you're going to see. A team that's always going to be competing against the best in the entire NFL. Or looking at a team that's just completely given up. You never know which one you're going to see. Steelers, Raiders is going to be a very interesting game, but I think I'm going to give that one to the Steelers. They've been pretty impressive. Falcons, Panthers, definitely give that to the Falcons. Lions, 3-1. Cowboys, 3-2. Now that is going to be a very fun matchup. That also has a sort of a game of the night sort of ordeal. Oh man, who would I pick in this matchup, man? That might be my one time I do this in every sort of one of these videos, like a coin toss. It's a coin flip. It's whatever happens. I could see it happening either way. It is a home game for Dallas, but the Lions are still favored to win the game. And the money line also shows that people are just believing in the Dallas Cowboys more. In the Detroit Lions more. Detroit Lions. Which does make sense because I've heard through many voices, not only over social media, on different sporting articles, and also just you guys who have been in like my ASMR live streams. You know, the Dallas Cowboys can always play very well, but once they actually face like some of the more top tier teams, we've seen it in the playoffs all the time, they just can't get over the hump whenever they face really good competition. And the Lions are a team that's going to be in competition for being in the Super Bowl this year. It'd be a good win for the Cowboys to get done, but do you want to believe in the Cowboys? Yikes. Let's see, the stats are also heavily favoring the Detroit Lions, 8th right now in points, 10th in points allowed. So again, top 10 offense, top 10 defense, 3rd in total yardage. Their passing yards also looking really good with your boy Jared Goff. Wow, I almost forgot his name. But Dak Prescott, 3rd in passing yards total. So getting a little bit of an edge in that sort of way. Wow, the Lions are 7th in rushing yards per game at 151.3 yards per game, with Dallas being 31st. They have 82 rushing yards a game. Wow. Man, the Lions might just be able just to run this ball and run this game all the way for a dub. That's interesting. That's an interesting stat. Yeah, I'm gonna give it the Lions. Bengals, Giants. Hopefully the Bengals can somehow get the job done in that one. I'll take the underdog maybe in that one. And then the next Monday's football match. It's not soccer. Is Bills Jets. And I'm taking the Bills. The Jets are, in my opinion, kind of a phony team. But yeah, that's kind of it for the NFL talk of things. I'm excited. Again, nothing has shown me any different to not just continue to pick the Kansas City Chiefs as the number 1 team and the team to beat still to win the Super Bowl. Kind of no duh thing. Minnesota, I'm still kind of iffy on. I need to watch actually their game. They don't have a game this week. Oh no, so I can't watch them. Well, the next time they have their game, I'm going to watch them. Let it be more keying in on a team that's been undefeated so far in the NFL season. And then everyone else, I'm just kind of still pretty iffy on. Like, we still need to see more of these other teams that have good records and some other these really good teams that just their records aren't showing. We're going to have to wait and find out what happens with them. NFL season, looking like a lot of fun. Now we're moving on to the NBA side of things. The NBA side of things. For the NBA, what's really been going on? Well, we had the preseason. The preseason is actually going on right now currently, which, if you know anything about the NBA's preseason, it means absolutely nothing. There have been championship level teams that have had very good seasons that have lost every single preseason game. I actually had someone in my recent ASMR live stream, which I guess if you don't know, I do ASMR live streams every single Monday night and Thursday night. Monday, Thursday, I go live every single Monday and Thursday. Just thought I'd let you guys know. How I felt about this team beating that team in the preseason, how I felt, that player did in this specific game in the preseason. Bro, it doesn't matter. I've seen players drop 30, 40 point preseason games and have just average seasons. I have seen teams go undefeated in the preseason and have been lottery teams. It does not matter. Now, what's been impressive so far, what I did see recently is Karl-Anthony Towns on the Knicks. That was really fun to watch. Just kind of seeing him, how he's going to move, and sort of how they're not really game planning, because again, it is the preseason. This could look completely different in the next couple of weeks. Just kind of how they're moving with Karl-Anthony Towns on the court has been pretty impressive so far. It's really stretching the court for the Knicks, and I think that's the first thing I noticed was like, whoa. Jalen Brunson gets to play in space. some teams sometimes run 8. This Knicks team's going to be really hard to beat, especially if they are fully healthy, especially if Mitchell Robinson can come back healthy, if players like Jericho Sims or Preston Chua make another sort of jump in their game, Quentin Grimes as well. Yeah, this team could be scary for a team like the Boston Celtics. Now, the Celtics are still the number 1 team in the NBA, and I'm, yes, still picking them to be the NBA champions. Just like with the NFL talk, until something shows me any different, I will not be weaving away from that sort of take. But man, I'm definitely looking at the Knicks for sure. That's gonna be extremely fun to watch. Another thing that's kind of going on in the NBA is the LA Lakers with Bronny James playing, and he's playing like he's getting minutes. Now it is the preseason, but if I'm being completely honest, I really thought Bronny James was maybe gonna play some preseason games. I thought they were going to hide Bronny maybe this entire year. I really thought he was going to be just a strictly G League project guy where they make a big commotion of him being on Lakers, but then you ship him down to the G League for pretty much the entire season. Maybe you recall him back sometime in, I don't know, March, February, late February, something like that. That games of stretch of games where it's just kind of like the boring part of the NBA season. You let him play, till his heart's content then, and then, you sort of see what you got going on with him. I'm scared that Bronny James might be, like, not a rotation player for the Lakers, but, like, I would rather have Bronny James play, 20-plus minutes on the G League team than him play, 2 minutes, a handful of games in the NBA season for the rest of the NBA year. I really hope he gets a run in the G League. This guy needs to be playing basketball with high-level competition as much as possible, and he's not going to get that in the NBA. He's not. So I really hope they put him in the G League, because this guy needs minutes on the court. Now, seeing him play so far, he moves well. You can kind of see he does have that basketball IQ, but he is just still extremely raw, extremely not ready, and, he's just going to really need some time. So, they did just recently now beat the Milwaukee Bucks, which, again, preseason doesn't matter. Bronny James did, though, score 0 points. LeBron James had 11, 6, and 3. Anthony Davis had 11, 8, and 1. Rui Hachimura led the Lakers with 14 points. The Bucks had Giannis leading the entire score of 20 points. That is interesting. Any of those preseason games that kind of surprised me? Not so much. John Morant did return for the Grizzlies the past couple of games. I think he played their first preseason game. Then he got hurt. He twisted an ankle or something, which was definitely not something you want to see from a guy who's just returning from an injury, is twisting an ankle. So I think he's probably not going to play probably the rest of the preseason, because that's just something you don't want to do. Zach E, though, has been playing for the Grizzlies. He got 10 and 5 in their most recent game against Charlotte that they lost. Yeah. Memphis. I did a NBA standings video a couple days ago talking about, who I think is going to, match up where in the standings at the end of the year, and I totally forgot about Memphis. And yeah, they're a team that, be all and all could be a top 4 seeded team in the NBA or be completely almost bottoming out. We kind of have to wait and see if that team still has their mojo or not. Do they still have their mojo? I have no idea, but boy, we're really gonna have to find out, aren't we? Because, I don't know. I think they do. It's obviously, of course, when Jaren and all of them play, that team is really talented, but man, I don't know if that team is what it used to be. Anything else really need to talk about for the NBA? Not really. Let's see. Is there anything on the NBA page here? There's a bunch of highlights and stuff. Klay Thompson made his debut with the Mavericks. That looked extremely weird and funky to see. Seeing Klay Thompson in Dallas, it definitely looks like that NBA 2K to see how that team does. I think they're an X Factor team. I think they're a team that could either be, again, a top 4 seed in the West of the NBA or kind of struggling. The Kings kind of struggled last year, but injuries and just not really finding a good flow really hindered that team a lot. And I think this year, I think they get it done. I think they somehow find a way, and we could find them being a top seeded team. But I think a team that's going to be even more impressive than them is going to be the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans might be one of the most impressive teams this year. They might even make a jump to be even further than that. They might be like the Memphis Grizzlies, what they were. They might be a team that's battling for a home court advantage spot. But that's only if, Zion stays healthy and DeJounte Murray does what he does. What Brandon Ingram can do, if the depth is really sort of hindered. And also, if you guys don't know, Daniel Tice is the starting center for the Pelicans. Daniel Tice. That's terrifying. In a conference with huge, big guys, and then you think about even like the Eastern Conference, like Daniel Tice is the starting center. I don't even know who the backup is. That is going to be rough. Like, I don't know if they're expecting Zion to play some minutes at center. I have no idea. That is not who you want to be in there down below. I totally forgot that Jonas Valanciunas is actually not there anymore. Do I know where Jonas is now? I don't remember at all, but that's pretty interesting. I think he might be... Is he in... Why do I want to say the Hawks? I think that's wrong, right? I have no idea. But that's... Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited still to see what's going to be going down for the rest of the year. Now, do I still think the bottom teams are going to be the bottom teams? Yes. If you didn't watch that NBA standings video, Portland, Washington, Brooklyn, those are going to be the 3 worst teams, hands down, in the entire NBA. These teams are going to be very, 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 very bad because this upcoming year's draft class is going to be very, 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 very good. There could be a guy at the 7th pick that could be an all-star. There could be a guy at the 11th pick that could, be a really solid starter for an NBA team. Like that this upcoming draft is going to be nice. And the prize is Cooper Flag. Like, your prize is going to be a 6'8", 6'9" forward that can do it all. Like another Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, another, I don't want to say Kevin Durant like, but a lengthy forward that can just do everything. Every NBA team wants that. That is, I don't want to say it's the perfect position, but like, that is really, really nice. So, go Portland. I can't wait to see them lose. I'm super excited. Anyways, I was gonna go into like the standings and stuff like that for the preseason, but who really cares? It's the preseason. There is an article here though that's kind of interesting that they're talking about on Bleacher Report. Oh, I guess I should also say, Danny Green announced his retirement. He's kind of old, so I still cannot forget all the memes Danny Green got in the 2020 bubble series that he had. Oh my god. I don't want to say he got any, threats. Like, blank threats, you know what I'm saying? I think he got some of those because of just like how up and down he was playing. They got the job done though, but man, when he missed that game winner in that one NBA Finals matchup against Miami in the bubble, man, I still remember that till this day. Anyways, now what I think we're gonna do next is just talk about the most improved NBA teams and kind of look at just some of like the random articles they have here on Bleacher Report, like random articles. This one is predicting the 5 most improved teams for this upcoming year, and the first one they actually talk about is the Phoenix Suns. Most improved. That's kind of interesting. I know they did get deeper, which was like one of the things they really needed to get done, and it was probably the best thing that they got done was deep in the roster. They actually have a player Tyus Jones to actually have a true point guard position there. Now they actually ended the year last year 49-33, which is a pretty solid spot. But when you have Devin Booker and Kevin Durant as your top 2 players, it's kind of not where you want to be, in my opinion. So it does make sense. Now I think they could greatly improve in the postseason, which they lost in a sweep against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So if they can improve there, that's fine. But like a most improved team in like the regular season, definitely not. I don't think they're gonna get really any better. Of course, number 1 is who they should be talking about is the Memphis Grizzlies, who last year were 27-55. They are drastically going to be a better team. Do I think they're going to be, 55-27? No, I think they'll probably be. And again, if you missed my ASMR rankings video, please go watch that standings video. I had them around like the 4 or 5 seed, so hovering around 50 wins, give or take, so maybe 49, 50, 51 wins. I can definitely see that happening this year. We're going to have to wait and find out. San Antonio Spurs are on this list as well at 22-60 last year. I mean, any sort of improvement will be a vast improvement for the Spurs. Do I think the Spurs are going to be in like a win now sort of ideal? Or, we have Chris Paul guys, we gotta get into the finals. No, obviously not. I think they're gonna be a team that might be scratching at a playoff play-in spot. Yes, like an 11th to 12th seed. Sure, that makes sense. They're gonna still try to get a top 10 pick at the end of the year just to help keep building this roster around Victor Wembanyama. Absolutely yes. Or we could see them actually just tank at the end of the year, which I think is probably a more reasonable option. The Houston Rockets are the other team they're looking at, 41-41. They were 11th last year, and yes, I do think the Houston Rockets will probably be a play-in team this year. I think if their guys continue to improve, like Jalen Green and Cam Whitmore and Alperen Sengun and Almond Thompson, their young core is very spicy. They still have their guys like Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet on the roster as well. This could be the year that Houston maybe even makes a spark and a boom and could end this season as like the 7th and 6th seed, and that also just wouldn't be a surprise because they have the veterans that can do it, but also just the young talent that, if this is their year to blossom like Jabari Smith Jr., it would make a lot of sense. And whoa, lastly they have the Philadelphia 76ers. That is random. Philly, wow, okay. 47-35 last year. They were 7th in the East. Okay, well, I guess they can definitely improve on that. Only if they're healthy, though. They did lose last year in the first round against the Knicks. That was just a bad matchup, and also Jalen Brunson was playing out of his mind. He was easily the best player in the playoffs, especially in that first round. And if they're fully healthy, of course, they're a title contending team. But it's the Philadelphia 76ers. It's Joel Embiid. And you just add another injury head case in Paul George to that mess. So it's another one of those we have to wait and see what happens types of ordeals. Anyways, just some random stories that are just going on in the NBA. Now we still have a handful of minutes actually, just to talk about some other sports out there. I guess we could definitely talk about the MLB playoffs, which, I don't want to say I'm sorry I'm not covering, but you guys know, like me and baseball, I have a weird relationship. I loved playing baseball as a kid. Baseball was easily my best sport I played. I love going to baseball games. It may be my favorite sporting event to just go to live. I love going to baseball stadiums, enjoying the sun, a nice drink, good food. The vibes of a baseball game are pretty unmatched. But it's really, you will rarely ever catch me watching a baseball game on TV. And I haven't even gone to a game this year, so that can tell you what's been going on recently. We are in the MLB postseason. Let me actually just take a look at the bracket for the MLB bracket for the World Series. We are pretty into it now. I think groups for the conferences, like the AL. It's ALC, right? The ALC and the NLC. Again, baseball's confusing to me sometimes. So for the wildcard matchups for both sides, for the AL, the American League, we have the Tigers playing the Astros and the Royals playing the Orioles. The Tigers beat the Houston Astros 2-0. Kansas City beat the Orioles 2-0, sweeping both series. Then for the ALDS, the division series, we had at the time the Knicks. Oh my goodness, the Yankees, the New York Yankees. Trying to transition my brain to baseball talk, and the Yankees whopping them. Well, I don't say whopping them, but they won 3-1. These are 5-game series, so you only need to win 3 games to win the series, and they won 3-1. Kansas City Royals, they were like one of the worst, if not the worst team in baseball, like for a couple years. It's definitely not too crazy to think of, them, overachieving this year, and I think they definitely did. But good job. But you did face the number 1 seeded team in this side of the bracket, and obviously in the entire the American League. You're going against the Yankees, and some say they are just the team to beat, not only on this side of the bracket, but just in the entire MLB. They are just the team to beat, and you gave it a good shot. Another team that's looking really good this year were the Guardians, the Cleveland Guardians, which that still sounds weird to say, is, at least what it says from this picture, it's 2-2. I don't know if the recording of this video, it's still 2-2, I don't know, but they are facing the Detroit Lions, Detroit Tigers, who won the series last time with the Houston Astros. It's tied 2-2. Next game wins it all, which is really exciting. But we're going to give the edge to the Guardians because they did look so good this year, and again, Tigers are maybe, run out of gas, I would say. And even if they did make it past the Guardians, I mean, they went through the wild card in a really tough 5-game series against the Guardians. I just think they're going to gas out against a team like the Yankees, who are just looking like they're ready to go to the World Series already. So, in my prediction, I would say yes, the Yankees do make it to the World Series, beating whoever comes out of there. You could definitely argue the Cleveland Guardians, but I mean the Guardians are struggling against the worst seeded team in this side of the bracket. That's definitely not a good look. On the other side of the bracket, we have the National League. We had the Mets going up against the Brewers. The Mets beating them 2-1, and the Braves going up against the Padres. The Padres beating the Braves 2-0, which I was actually super nervous about because, well, if you guys don't know, my favorite team in baseball, are the Angels, which we're not going to talk about them. But I do also like the Padres. I mention this all the time again in my ASMR live streams. Anytime I go down to California, I usually am always down in like the San Diego area. That's where I have a lot of family down there, so I'm always hanging around San Diego and stuff like that. So I enjoy San Diego. It's one of my favorite cities, and I've been to a couple Padres games. So yes, I do support them. They beat them, sweeping them. Mets ended up then taking on the Philadelphia Phillies, the number 2 seeded team, and they beat them. Yes, we have a 6-seeded team going from the wild card, the worst seeded team, all the way to the NLCS, the National League Championship Series. That is crazy impressive, I'm not gonna lie. And yes, this is setting up for a Mets-Yankees World Series. I don't care how stupid that sounds, and maybe the Yankees absolutely whop this team and sweep them we're in the World Series. I don't care. Has this ever happened before, or at least any time in recent history, that the Mets and the Yankees have gone up against each other for a World Series? That would be awesome. Like, that'd be like the Brooklyn Nets taking on the New York Knicks in the NBA Finals. Like, you can't do it there, but in baseball, you can do it, and that is actually really exciting. But before we get there, Padres are taking on the LA Dodgers, and the Dodgers right now are kind of coming back in this series. It's actually, both these teams are coming back at each other watching this game. Maybe if it's fun, maybe like if it's a close game at the close, like a 7th, 8th, 9th inning, I'll give it a little turn on. But I'm nervous, and I don't really want to get nervous, so maybe I won't watch it. I'll just see what happens at the end of it. Every year I always pick the Dodgers to win the World Series. I just think they're a team that they're spending so much money. Of course, you gotta just win a World Series eventually, right? And I like them. Of course, they have also probably my favorite player in Shohei Ohtani on that team, and they're just a really great team. But the Padres are trying to make some sort of Cinderella story from a team going from the wild card to going up against the big brother city in their own state of California with LA, San Diego. Like, that is like a story in itself, and if they can beat LA, that's really impressive. And honestly, if they beat LA, they've already beaten the best team, again, arguably in baseball. They could handle the Mets, and going on to the World Series isn't that big of a surprise if they do that. But in my heart, I would love to see the Nets stop thinking basketball. I would love to see the Mets and the Yankees in the World Series. I think that's my number one outcome. Of course, I would love to see the Yankees play the Padres, but the most realistic answer, the Yankees are going to be playing the Dodgers in the World Series. It's a boring outcome, but I think if I had to bet money, that's what I'd bet on. Dodgers get by the Padres. I think they handle the Mets pretty easily as well. Maybe they lose a game or two, and they go on to face the Yankees for the championship. Who do I think wins the World Series, though? I don't know. And no offense, I don't care. It's the Dodgers and the Yankees. Neither of these teams really a fun up-and-coming, come from behind team. But no, these are just two of the best teams in baseball's history. It doesn't matter who wins. I'm a West Coast guy, so maybe I will be rooting for the Dodgers, but, if the Yankees win, it wouldn't surprise me either. I think I'd probably give the edge to the Yankees, but I don't know. Either way, it's just Yankees, Dodgers, bleh. Mets, Yankees, though. My first ever baseball team I ever played for, ever in my life as a little kid. I didn't play T-ball, but I did play, the Little League, coach pitch. If you know what a coach pitch is, it's where the coaches pitch for you guys. My first ever team I ever played for, ever in, an organized way, was the New York Mets. So I have a soft spot for the New York Mets. So if the Mets get by, root for the Mets. Anyways, wow, I really took a long time talking about football and basketball. We haven't had a lot of time to talk really anything else. I'll just kind of go by a lot of the other sports, just kind of really sprinkle them in and kind of quickly. For the Premier League, I haven't, again, really tuned in too much to the Premier League. I only really tune into it when it's getting closer to the end of the year. The tournament starts, Champions League. I love tournament play for soccer. And honestly, that's really the only when I'll watch it. Not really during the regular season for their games. They're also only 7 games into their year, so it's kind of whatever. Right now, currently Liverpool is in first, followed by Man City, Arsenal, and Chelsea as your top 4 teams for the Champions League of the Premier League. Then for regulation, we have the Wolves, Southampton, and yes, currently Crystal Palace is eligible for regulation. That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I know Crystal Palace hasn't been really that good. They're just not really been that good, but they are a very recognizable team in the Premier League, aren't they? That's crazy to think that Crystal Palace could just be not in the Premier League anymore. That just really surprises me. Man United is 14th, Tottenham is 9th. Just some random teams that are going up in here. Brighton is 6th right now, shout out to them. Then Chelsea is 4th, which is another team I like to watch. Man City, of course. They're Man City, but yeah. Is there any matchups that I'm really excited to see sometime soon? Tottenham plays West Ham on Saturday, which could be pretty fun. Arsenal plays Bournemouth. Monday, you know what? There's not really another really good game for quite some time. Man City did play Arsenal not that long ago, and that was kind of like the match of the year so far. That was some two really big teams. Ooh, October 27th, Sunday, Arsenal plays Liverpool. Now that, I think, is the next, like, big go-get-em game. 27th, Sunday, Arsenal versus Liverpool. I think that's the next big match event I'm going to be really, really, really excited to watch. Anything else? WNBA. If you guys don't know, the WNBA finals are going on right now, which I know for a lot of you, who really cares? For some of you, Caitlin Clark's not playing, so who really cares? And then for some of you, you already know that. The Lynx are in the finals. The Minnesota Lynx are taking on the New York Liberty. Now, if you guys don't know, I don't want to say the Liberty are my favorite team, but Sabrina Ionescu is actually my favorite player in the WNBA. Yeah, I know everyone's favorite player is Caitlin Clark, like no doubt, but Sabrina Ionescu is definitely my favorite, and really cool to see them in the finals. They lost their game against the Lynx in overtime, which was a super close game. I'm still hoping that they're the team I'm rooting for. Of course, they have my favorite player, but they did steal a game. Steal a game. That's pretty rough. It is a five game series, so it's first to three. Minnesota already stole one, which is definitely not where you want to go if you are the Liberty. I almost said Knicks again. The Liberty. That game was also in New York, so already giving up your home court advantage is definitely not good. The next game will be in New York as well. I do think the New York Liberty tied up there, but man, after that, if the Lynx just protect their home court, they're gonna win the series. So you really gotta steal one now. That if you are the Liberty. So I'm excited. I hope New York gets it and Sabrina gets a championship. Anything else we can talk about? The NHL season just also kicked off. I think it started like this week. I don't remember what day it was, but a lot of teams, are playing this week, which is really cool. Do I plan on going to a hockey game this year? I'll tell you guys this. If you're watching this video and you're actually awake or at least coherently paying attention, I'll give you a little insider scoop. I am very loosely planning a trip to Vegas sometime, kind of like a birthday gift to myself. I don't really like to spoil myself a lot. As you guys know, I have been wearing the same clothes. I have the same microphone I've been wearing for the past 5 years. I've been using for the past 5 years. My background rarely ever changes. I don't like to spoil myself a lot. So I think it'd be kind of fun to do like a birthday thing for myself, and I think Vegas would be fun. And maybe if there's a Vegas Golden Knights game, that'd be something I would definitely love to do again, because that was really exciting. They just kick-started their season this week, which is pretty cool. Am I really gonna think anything of it? No, not really, but it is pretty sick. The Blackhawks face the Jets. The Blues actually plays the Golden Knights. Now that'll actually be a really good game. Those are two pretty top tier teams that were in the playoffs last year. Don't ask me who won the NHL Cup, the NHL Stanley Cup to last year. Don't ask me who won the Stanley Cup. I actually don't remember. Was it the Blues? Did the Blues win the Stanley Cup last year? I actually do not remember at all, but they kickstarted their year. Maybe I'll go to a game again. I have no idea. Anything else we can really talk about? Maybe I'll throw in some Formula One. Do you guys like it when I talk about that? The Circuits of America for F1 racing is coming up. The Circuit of America is coming up. That's going to be actually taking place in Austin. College football is going on right now. I do know Vanderbilt beat, was it Alabama? They beat some crazy, number one seeded team. Vanderbilt, an unranked team, beat the number one ranked team in all of football, which was actually crazy, actually insane. If you guys don't know, Oregon, shout out to Oregon. I don't like college football, so I don't really care, but it's just cool, Oregon, the state that, anyways, they're ranked third in the entire nation, which is really, really cool to see. Texas is now ranked as the #1 team in the nation, followed by Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, and Georgia rounding out the top 5. Miami is actually an undefeated team at 6-0, but ranked below Georgia, who has lost a game. And Alabama down all the way to #7 with that one loss on their record. Very bad. Iowa State is undefeated at 5-0. They're ranked 11th. BYU, Brigham Young, is also 5-0, ranked 14th. Indiana is 6-0, ranked 18th. Pittsburgh is 5-0, ranked 22nd. Some underrated teams, maybe, that are kind of underranked, that are undefeated. Very interesting, very cool. College football. Again, I don't really care about college football, so I can't really talk too much about it. But yeah, I think we're good. We talked a lot of football and we talked a lot of basketball, but that's usually what I always do in these videos anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Anyways, guys, I love you. Love you guys so much. If, again, you guys enjoy these just pure sports whisper ramble videos, kind of like what we used to do back in the day, please let me know by giving this video a thumbs up, giving this video some love, helping get this video out there would really help out a lot, and that just lets me know that you guys still enjoy this